All right, hey, what is up, y'all? I'm here with a demo today talking about adding some animations to React code. You could do that via straight CSS and managing state toggles on class names and things like that. There are things like React Transition Group, I believe is a library I've messed with before, and I have a newer one I've found in the last couple of days, shown off to some of my students, and they had a lot of interest in some tutorial videos on how to use it. So today we're going to be doing some fancy schmancy animations here, where we're going to take this very basic concept of a form that allows us to add a card message at the bottom down here. And as of right now, and if you guys are students here at Gravity or former students have gone through the React sections, you've built Chirper, which is pretty much this lab. And as you add your new messages, they just appear right down there at the bottom, and we want a new goal instead of this kind of like bland pop in, which we know it's got it working, it's fine, whatever. Let's give it a little bit of flair, some style. I want it to fade in and maybe appear from the left and position itself into place. So that's going to be our goal. Take this immediate pop and have it transition in instead. Very simple stuff, and it's only going to require one library. As you guys can already tell, and if you guys are students of mine, you know I abuse Bootstrap in my demos as heavily as I can, since I'm not the greatest designer. I just take advantage of some of the class names they have and don't like writing custom CSS, which is why I like this library, which is called React-Spring. And I like it in particular because it has two APIs, one for old school like prop handling and wrapping components, and a new version like uSpring that mimics the React hook API. So it looks just like another hook inside of my functional component. I built this guy without using a lick of class-based components here in 2019. Let's go React hooks. Awesome. Diving into what I have going on so far. Only dependencies are Bootstrap, as you can tell for all that nice styling I have going on with minimal effort, and my React Spring animation library. If you guys are new to Node or React, you can run into your terminal, your commander, whatever you're using, npm install -- save React Spring space Bootstrap, and you get them both installed. For Bootstrap, I went into my index.js, and you can import the CSS directly from the Bootstrap node module folder, distribution, CSS, and the minified CSS right here at your index.js. Importing it here will allow the underlying engine of Create React App and everything that it manages for you. It knows how to understand this import statement, links the CSS file appropriately. Where is it linked to? If it's linked here, it filters down into everything nested inside of your app. So you don't have to have multiple imports across multiple files. Just here at your entry point, and your entire app will pick up the class names that Bootstrap offers with styling. Down and breaking down what the app looks like. So what you guys saw was that very basic app. Isn't too complicated from there. Looking at the render here, it's a Bootstrap container with a couple section that stands for my rows. I have a form component and a list container component. The form component, just like it sounds, handles the form. It handles the input and the button click, where it takes the value of this input on button click, adds it to this array. I actually passed those down into the form component. So here is where I use my hooks state, my hook uState, where I generate a value piece of state and a set value. And I pass both of these down as props into the form component. I also use another uState here where I generate an initial array of values, which is the two cards you currently see on screen. I give them IDs that I can use as keys. And I also have a function, handle submit, that because this handle submit button's inside of a form, I have to prevent the page from refreshing. I set my items, and I use a spread operator to do so, where I create a new array. I spread out the current items array, these two guys, and I add a new object with the ID of count, which is a variable starting at 3, since that's where these guys end. And that will be the value, and the text will be the value of the input. And then I increment count by 1 and clear the input for some good user experience, and to make sure my count is increasing. If I add multiple items or multiple objects into this array, their IDs get updated, just to make sure my keys are kept straight, as they'll be important when you're rendering to the DOM. So looking at the form, I pass down those three props: the value for the input, the onChange handler will have to have and use this setter function, the set value function, and I pass in the handle button submit. So looking at that down here, it's a basic functional component. I use some ES6 destructuring, so I destructure off of my props object, value, set value, and handle submit. So that way, on my input, my value is tied to that value from app. My onChange handler calls setValue with whatever you're typing into the input. And that's technically props.setValue and props.value. And then down here, our button has an onClick where the event is bound in context with this arrow function, and it calls handle submit up on app.jsx. So that should be good to go. As you saw, it works. Now, I set up list container specifically so we can have a clean area to code this in. Just like with all React style, we could just code the whole thing right here, but it'll get kind of clunky having like 100 lines in one file and be difficult for you guys to read. So list container isn't anything special. It is this very basic JSX component that has a shadow fragment. It receives a props.items. If you recall, I passed in the items array down as a prop called items to make it easy. And inside of list container, I destructured prop.items. I mapped through my items array for each individual item or one object in the array. I use this list card component to render it to the screen. And I use the item ID as a key. And I pass down the item object, which I could just do as item.text, but I like doing it this way so if that object grows, I don't have to come back and change this code. All I got to do is just go into list card and change it. So if that object had more properties, I wouldn't have to come redo this over and over again. And list card is very simple. Bootstrap column, bootstrap card with styling, card body, and it renders the text of the object, which if you recall, that's where I'm getting that from, the object's text. And I'm just using some more fancy ES6 destructuring where I say, hey, pull item off of props and pull text off of items. So down here in my render, it's very simple to read, just text. All right, we're going to have to do a couple things here to prepare. Inside of list container, and this is why I set it up this way, is because I wanted a very small snippet of code that I can start adding onto so I can show you guys how this works. We're going to be importing two things from the React Spring library to start our work. So import from React Spring. The two things we're going to want is one called use transition and one called animated. They have a couple different use animations you can do, like use spring, use trail, use springs, and they're for different use cases. Use transition is something you're going to be using for dynamic generation of like static, like, you know, like dynamic lists and things like that, saying, hey, I want to map through a list of items and provide this type of styling for each item in an array, aka exactly what we're doing down here. We want each of these cards to slide in and fade in from the left-hand side. So, and the animated is an element that will be wrapping your component or your JSX. This is going to be an animated div that will take some kind of styling that use transition provides for it, and it will take that and apply it to an animated element. So we're going to delete this current snippet of code right here. Actually, we're going to pause with that and actually going to go ahead and just use our transition. So I'm going to have a new variable called transition, and it's going to be an array, if you guys are curious. And that's what use transition returns. It returns an array, and the array will be each item from our array. So it'll be each object from our array from props.items. It'll have a key value, and it'll have a style or props that we can pass as style. So there's going to be 3 arguments required for use transition. Our array of items, so it can give us each individual item in this transition array. We have to tell it, or we can tell it, our keys. So I'm going to say the items.id is the key off of each of these objects. That way it knows what the keys are. And then the third argument will be an object that will be our styling. So this is where I'm going to have some custom properties that it took me a while to figure this out, actually, an embarrassing long amount of time. I have very little experience animating in CSS, so trying to figure out what use transition, use spring, what their documentation was doing took me a minute. But it's nice because you don't have to write multiple CSS class selectors and manage state and things like that. It does it all here for you, along with some interpolating if you're really fancy and know what you're doing with some animating. This particular use transition object for styling has 2 minimums you're going to need: a from object and an enter object. And the from is going to say where is it coming from, and when it enters, what is it supposed to look like. So we're going to say it's going to come from an opacity of 0, meaning we can't see it. And we're going to adjust the margin left to be negative 100 units and margin right to be a positive 100 units. So like I want my Bootstrap cards to like shift and then move to where they're supposed to go. So my final position where it enters would be my opacity of 1, fully visible, a margin left of 0, aka just appear where you're supposed to appear, and a margin right also of 0, saying just appear where you're supposed to appear. And that's it. It will know to apply the styling with some state management as these list cards fade into view, they'll move from left-hand side to right-hand side. And that's why I like this. It mimics this hooks API style. It allows me to write a JavaScript object, and it will do some inferences for me. It even has configurations of different things you can do built into React Spring. We can import this config file, and it has different configurations you can mess with, which if you guys are curious, I can include in a future video. And now we have to set up our transition and actually use our animated element. So down here in this map, I'm going to delete the code I have, but I'm going to leave it as such with this set of curly braces. I'm going to break out of JSX, and we're no longer going to map through our items array, because our items array is kind of enveloped in this transition array with extra information. So we're going to say, hey, transition array, let's map through you. And the arguments we're going to have here. So I'm also going to be using an implicit return, so I'll be using these parentheses instead of curly braces. And I'll be destructuring our map arguments. I'm going to destructure 3 things. Each individual item from the array, like I said, it took our array of items and generated, in our map, 1 item from that array of items. It also will give us a key, which we set up, which can be null, but we set it up to be the items.id. So we are set to go there. And it's also going to give us something called props, which will be the styling that this from and enter will apply to an animated element. So we're going to do our implicit return here. And here is where we're going to be using our animated element we've imported. And animated can be chained on, I believe, with any valid browser-based component. Animated.h1, animated.li, animated.paragraph, anything we want to do. We're going to be animating a wrapping div for this sucker. And because we're in a map, the parent level component in JSX must have a key, and it conveniently gives it, oh my goodness, it gives us a conveniently usable key from the transition map. And we're going to be applying a style object to this animated div, and it will take the props generated by our useTransition function and map through our transition array. It'll take those props for each element and apply it to this div's style. So it will do that automatic fading in from the left-hand side. Here, because this is going to be a wrapping div, I'm also going to move something up from my list card. This call MD7 Bootstrap div, I'm actually going to move that up a level to prevent some styling problems. So I'm going to move that class name up here, as technically this would be the column that I want my card to be. So I want to make sure that it looks good using that little trick there. So my list card now doesn't need a key. All it needs to know is what item it needs to be passed, which will be, nope, thank you, fat clicking IntelliSense there, whoopsie. Just the item from this transition map. So we should be good to go now. And why is this not highlighting? I think it might just take my VS Code a second for it to update, which is okay. Yeah, we're good. And also, blah, there we go. All right, should be good to go. We're going to map to the transition. It's going to produce all these divs. They're going to be call MD7s. They'll be inheriting the style that this CSS provides for us, along with anything in the middle that has to happen, like the animating part. It's going to need to know a key to make sure React knows how to pick one from the other. And we're still going to be using our very same list card, passing in the item so it renders the text out of that item object. And that's really all we got to do to get something a bit more fun appearing on the screen. So if I come back and refresh the page, there they are. They fade in. Isn't that cool? That's awesome. That looks way cleaner than just a static pop, There's other properties you can actually pass to the use transition, including things like delays. So if I wanted these cards to come in a bit slower, I can customize them even further. So let's do our actual final test of, instead of having the next card just pop automatically, can I have it slide in? So the final part of the Jedi code is there is no death, there is the force. So let's try spinning, since that's a good trick. And there it is. We have a much cooler and very smooth looking basic React lab here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I have plans in the future for showing off some of the other aspects that use Spring, and the other use API that React Spring has on it, where it has use Spring, use Springs plural. There are several things you could do with it. A lot of the examples on the React Spring documentation are fairly complicated and assume you know a lot about animating, which I don't. So I had to dig through their complicated examples and show you a very basic one to get up and running. If you guys have anything really cool, share your code boxes, your code pens, your sandboxes, your repos in the comments, or down below in YouTube, or in our Gravity or our Discord channels for Covalence. And if you guys have other things you want me to show animating wise, let me know, and I'll be happy to make y'all whatever videos you're looking for. Till next time.